Chapter 4. A Deal with Shadows. The truck rattled and gasped like an old man on his last legs, its engine coughing one last time before Cody Steele killed it. He sat there for a moment, gripping the wheel as if it might steady him. The neighborhood spread out before him like an open wound. Overgrown lots, sagging porches, rusting cars with flat tires that had long since given up the ghost. And the double-wide trailer, God help him. That was the prize at the end of this misery parade. Cody's chest tightened. This was it. The bottom of the barrel where people didn't just hit rock bottom, they set up shop and stayed a while. He inhaled, exhaled, and still felt no better. The air smelled of desperation, the kind that clung to you like tar. With a resigned grunt, he opened the door, the creak of the hinges cutting through the stillness. The walk to the trailer felt longer than it should, each step heavier than the last. His back ached, but he didn't dare slow down. Eyes could be watching from anywhere, and this wasn't a place where curiosity ended well. The door loomed ahead of him, its paint peeling in sad flakes. He knocked, his knuckles brushing against the filth. Nothing happened. He knocked again, harder this time, his pulse pounding in his ears. The door creaked open an inch, revealing a pair of suspicious, bloodshot eyes. "Yeah," came the voice, low and gravelly. "I need some help," Cody said, his voice tight. "Ran out and can't refill for a couple weeks." The eyes studied him, then the door swung wider. The invitation, or whatever passed for one here, hung in the air. Cody hesitated, glancing back over his shoulder. No one out there, just the weight of bad decisions piling on him. With a deep breath, he stepped inside. The smell hit him first. Cigarettes, ammonia, something sour and chemical that made his stomach churn. The place was a mausoleum for bad choices. Shelves lined the walls, sagging under the weight of plastic containers, pill bottles, and all the paraphernalia of a life lived in shortcuts. At the center of it all sat the dealer, a tough-looking man with a shaved head and tattoos so faded they looked like bad memories. The dealer didn't look up. He was busy sorting pills into smaller bags, his hands steady and methodical. "What are you looking for and how many?" he asked, like a bored bartender taking an order. "Depends on what you've got," Cody replied, trying to keep his voice steady. The dealer finally glanced up, his eyes narrowing just slightly. Then he rattled off his inventory like he was reading the specials at a greasy diner. "Norcos, oxys, codones and contins, Percocets, tramadols and fentanyl. Patches only, no pills this week. Prices are what they are." Cody nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. "2 oxycodones? Just trying to get through till my script hits." The dealer snorted, a sound that somehow managed to convey both derision and pity. "2 pills? You might as well be shopping at Walmart." Before Cody could respond, the front door slammed open. The junkie stumbled in, eyes wide and glassy, his movements twitchy. The gun in his hand was steady, though, and it was pointed at them. "Nobody move!" the junkie shouted, his voice cracking. "Put your pieces on the table now." The dealer sighed like this was just another Tuesday. He set his Glock on the table with deliberate care. Cody followed suit, placing his nickel-plated .45 down, though his hand lingered for a second too long. The junkie snatched Cody's gun, his expression lighting up like he'd just hit the jackpot. "Nice piece," he sneered. "Now where's the good shit? Everything you got?" The dealer moved slowly toward the shelves, his hands raised in a show of compliance. Cody pressed himself into the corner, his mind racing. This was spiraling fast, and he had no idea how to pull out of it. And then the dealer moved. It was quick, a blur of motion as he lunged at the junkie. The room exploded into chaos, grunts, curses, bodies slamming into furniture. Cody flattened himself against the wall, his heart hammering in his chest. The gunshot was deafening. The dealer's head snapped back, and for a horrifying second, it hung there, as if considering the absurdity of it all. Then he crumpled to the floor, blood and brain matter painting the room in violent streaks. Cody stared, frozen, as the junkie turned the gun on him. "You," the junkie barked, his voice shaking. "Find the stash and hand it over, or you're next." Cody's hands moved on their own, trembling as he grabbed bags from the shelves and shoved them toward the junkie. His vision blurred, the room swimming around him. The junkie's attention wavered, his focus dropping to the haul in his hands. Cody didn't think. He moved. He lunged, grabbing for the gun. The struggle was brutal, every sound amplified. The scrape of boots, the thud of bodies, the guttural grunts of two desperate men. Another shot rang out. The junkie slumped to the floor, his head a ruined mess. Cody staggered back, his chest heaving, the gun still clutched in his hand. The room was silent now, save for the faint ringing in his ears and the ragged sound of his own breathing. Oh God, Cody muttered, his voice cracking. The air was thick with the stench of blood and gunpowder. And then came the sirens. Distant at first, but growing louder, their wails cutting through the still night like a knife. Cody's panic surged. He grabbed his .45 and as many bags as he could carry, his movements frantic. Without a backward glance, he bolted out the door and into the darkness. The sirens chased him, their cries relentless. But Cody didn't stop. He couldn't. Not now. Not ever.